I've become a little bit obsessed with researching the posters in the bedrooms of some of my favorite movie and TV characters. Welcome to the rabbit hole of Jennifer's body and the posters in Jennifer, Chip, and Needy's bedrooms. Chapter 1, Jennifer's room. The first scene of Jennifer's body, we open on Jennifer Check's bedroom. It's dark, there's a Tony Little infomercial playing in the background, and we slowly pan up to see her bed with this amazing poster collage above it. Front and center is a Fall Out Boy poster from around 2006. This would have been following the release of From Under the Cork Tree. There's actually no Fall Out Boy on the official soundtrack, which I think is a missed opportunity. I would have loved to have heard A Little Less 16 Candles, A Little More Touch Me on it. It's no surprise that Fall Out Boy are so front and center because Fueled by Ramen, their label, were actually responsible for the full soundtrack, and it ended up including artists like Hayley Williams from Paramore, All Time Low, Cobra Starship, and more. It's also why Panic at the Disco had such a prominent feature in the film with the title track New Perspective. Panic at the Disco is also featured on Jennifer's wall. Now, if you look close enough, you'll see that this poster features Ryan Ross and John Walker, and it was taken around the time of Pretty Odd. Ross and Walker split from the band on July 6, 2009 to start their own band, The Young Vanes. The Young Vanes released their debut on MySpace on July 28, 2009, which just so happened to be the exact same day that Panic at the Disco released New Perspective. Now, beyond Fueled by Ramen, Epitaph Records also plays a big part of the bands on Jennifer's wall. The Gallows poster is from Orchestra of Wolves, released in 2006 on Epitaph Records in the US and In the Deep End in the UK. The artwork for this record was done by Bath-based artist Dan Mumford, who also did artwork for their later release In the Belly of the Shark, and he generally just has an amazing portfolio spanning albums, movies, and even Magic the Gathering cards. This Escape the Fate poster is from the era of Dying Is Your Latest Fashion, released in 2006 on Epitaph Records, and this was their debut. We have Motion City Soundtrack and their 2007 release, Even If It Kills Me. Super well known, and at the time they were actually touring with Fall Out Boy and with Panic at the Disco. And there is a poster for I Am Ghost, and for their record, We Are Always Searching. Chapter 2, Chip's Room. There are a couple of similarities between Chip's room and Jennifer's room, and most notably, it is this identical Motion City Soundtrack poster. I think this is a poster for the Matches, who were also signed to Epitaph Records, and then Chip has a couple of artists from I Surrender Records also on his walls. This poster is from the High Court and their release Puppet Strings from 2007. The High Court were unfortunately pretty short-lived, and they disbanded directly following this release in 2008. There's a poster for 4 Years Strong and the release Rise or Die Trying from 2007. 4 Years Strong were on I Surrender, but they later signed to Pete Wentz's Decaydance, which was a spinoff of Fueled by Ramen. There is a poster for the Hush Sound, who were one of my favorite bands from this era. They were discovered on Pure Volume by Pete Wentz and Ryan Ross. And this specific poster looks like it's from their third album, Goodbye Blues. Also a poster for LA punk rock band The Bronx. Bronx are still active today, but actually touring more with their mariachi band, which is called Mariachi El Bronx, which I absolutely love. Not a band, but there is a Panic Now poster and smaller sticker in Chip's room. This is by Seattle-based artist Shawn, Wolfe. You might also recognize his work from being featured in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World with this incredible Shins poster. I also love the attention to detail of Chip being a drummer. For example, this is definitely a Pearl Drums advertisement. And another Pearl Drums poster featuring Eric Singer, drummer of Kiss, and Alice Cooper. This was from around 2007 or 2008. We also see a poster for super influential drummer Max Roach, who was an icon in the jazz scene and performed with the likes of Dizzy Gillespie, Duke Ellington, and basically every famous jazz musician under the sun. This poster is specifically from Deeds Not Words, released in the late 1950s. And a final nod to Chip being a drummer is this Zildjian ad featuring Jason Bonham. Jason Bonham, not John Bonham, who is, of course, the influential drummer from Led Zeppelin. Jason Bonham is actually his son. Chip also has a poster from Tito Puente and his Latin ensemble on Broadway, which was released in 1982. And finally, some random stickers around his room from Gallows, Motion City Soundtrack, Time Again, Bad Religion, Division of Laura Lee, and Hot Water Music. Chapter 3, Needy's Room. Needy's poster collection isn't really as music focused as Jennifer or Chip's, but it is incredible nonetheless. Like this incredible print by San Francisco based artist Marcy Washington titled Stricken. I love Washington's work, and this is such a great choice for Needy's bedroom. It is oozing with lust, mystery, vengeance, romance, and this kind of like supernatural, blood sucking beauty. Washington is from San Francisco and is represented by Rena Branston Gallery. And probably the most on the nose poster feature of this whole movie is this one of the Evil Dead that also matches Jennifer's t shirt. The Evil Dead was released in 1981 and follows 5 college students to a remote cabin in the woods where all sorts of flesh-eating shenanigans go down. Okay, that's it for the bedroom posters, but there were a couple other fun Easter eggs that I found. This Through the Trees Spring Formal is definitely a nod to the song by Low Shoulder, Through the Trees. Devil's Kettle is a fictional small town in Minnesota where Chip, Jennifer, and Needy live, but it's also a real place in Minnesota. Just like in the movie, the Devil's Kettle is a waterfall. Half of it is a normal waterfall, but then the other half goes into a deep, dark abyss. Some may say a passage to hell. The mystery of the Devil's Kettle has since been solved, or so they say, but I think it was a really fun choice for this movie. Another fun nod is that the high school is putting on a production of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, the musical, which I was kind of surprised to hear actually was made into a musical, albeit for a super short run, and definitely never commissioned out to high schools. I think, like the poster of The Evil Dead, this is another fun nod to the movies that influenced Jennifer's Body. When I first started researching this, I was so obsessed with Jennifer's room, but I'm so excited that I spent a little bit more time getting to know Chip's room and also Needy's room. I know for most teen bedroom movie sets, you're usually getting posters from labels that are trying to offload inventory or promo a new album, but I really think the team behind Jennifer's Body put some good thought into the characters and what posters would make the most sense for them. I had so much fun deep diving into the posters of Jennifer's Body. Let me know if you've spotted anything that I've missed in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for many more deep dives.